Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. We have two American brandy brands. It's got a foil cap cover. This is Korbel, California Champagne Cellars Brandy. Introduced in 1889 as the Korbel Mansion. In California, this is produced in California by the owners of Korbel, which is today Brown-Forman. So the Korbel family sold out. It was started in 1889 by a French, a Czech immigrant. Was it Maximilian Korbel, who escaped from the German Confederation, the Kingdom of Bohemia, after he participated in basically a communist uprising in 1848 in Germany. Kingdom of Bohemia was part of the German Confederation. But you say a communist in California? Can't be right. Seems doesn't make sense. Okay. Okay. Francis Korbel, not Maximilian. Yeah, Franz Korbel. Okay. Distilled in DiGiorgio, California, but bottled in Guerneville, California. So it's distilled in one spot and bottled in a different spot. And they age it in ex-whiskey barrels. Ex-whiskey barrels. Now, what whiskey company does Brown-Forman own? Okay, now this was $14.99 at Dorignacs. It is not sold in my town. We get Korbel wine, the bubbly wine, champagne wine, but we don't get the brand. This bottle seems kind of big. It's got a notch at the bottom when you put it on a rack. If you put it on a rack. Where is the indication of the size? They're supposed to have that on there. Well, that's very unusual. Here is the competitor, the original Hervé, Superior Reserve, fine, extra smooth VSOP brandy with natural flavors and caramel color, bottled by the Founders Company of Louisville, Kentucky. Now, I called this company earlier in the month, and the guy on the phone said, they don't really have a bottling plant in Louisville. It's just an office with lawyers working there. That's what he told me. He says, actually, at Buffalo Trace. They bottle this at Buffalo Trace. In Frankfort, Kentucky. Okay. He said they got 3 production facilities in Kentucky. That's what he told me. He said they have Glenmore Distilling in Owensboro, northwestern Kentucky. They've got Bardstown Distillery, the Barton 1792 Distillery in Bardstown, Kentucky. That's like in central Kentucky. And further east is Buffalo Trace, Frankfort, Kentucky. So that's what he told me. That's the 3 facilities. Okay, well, anyway, doesn't much matter. It's in Kentucky. So this Hervé, which I looked up the meaning. What does Hervé mean? It's a French word, and it's the French word for Harvey. So there's a Saint Hervé, Catholic Saint Hervé, or Saint Harvey in English, like Harvey comic books, Harvey comics, or Harvey Korman. But the meaning is battle ready. So it means prepared for battle. And so that's what, if your name is Harvey, it means you're battle ready. Okay, so, but the French word is Hervé. Okay, nice looking bottle. You say, well, that bottle looks like the Barton whiskey bottles. The Barton the Barton VOB, very old Barton. Yep, it's the same bottle. That looks like the same bottle as 2 Stars bourbon. That's the same bottle. That looks like the same bottle design as the standard size, what's it called? Hartley brandy. That's the same bottle. So Sazerac constantly used this bottle design. And I call it the Barton Distillery bottle because it's probably where it's coming from. Okay, Korbel. It's a champagne-looking bottle, but it's a brandy. Whoa, that's tight. That's that rubberized cork. It's like neoprene, not cork. It looks like cork, but it's neoprene. If you look at it closely, you know, the same rubber or substance that's at the bottom of tennis shoes. Produced by DuPont, E.I. DuPont de Nemours company, chemical company. Okay. Well, I'm telling you, this is driving me crazy. All right. The bottle size has got to be here somewhere. It looks bigger than a 750. This got to be a liter. Well, for the life of me, I can't find the bottle size, but probably when I get off the broadcast, I'll find it. Okay, $14.99 versus $8.99. So the Korbel is a good deal more expensive. Now they also make a Korbel VSOP, which I've not seen. They make a Korbel XS, which I did buy. XS, extra spicy. It has spices added. I did a duo review with Tanya Makowski of California, and that was very nice. We did an examination. DJ Beacon says, morning, BC's Beer Reviews. Oh, BC's Beer Reviews. Good morning to you, BC. Now, thanks for watching, guys. So, since 1889, our Sonoma County winery has been producing award-winning California, only the finest California grapes, naturally, masterfully aged to perfection, premium oak barrels, fire charred and mellowed. You know, they're going to tell you how fabulous it is. As a young man, Francis Korbel participated in the stormy Bohemian Revolution of 1848. For his uprising, for his taking part, he was captured and imprisoned, but he escaped. I'm not saying the man was a communist, because he might have not known what he was getting involved in. He might have been doing it for nationalistic reasons, like for the Czechs. Maybe he was just under their influence, but without realizing the kind of people he was dealing with. It says Korbel mastered the art of producing finely handcrafted brandies while also creating premium champagnes, usually using the traditional méthode champenoise. In 1889, he began shipping his premium Korbel California brandy. Okay. And then it goes on and on about their fabulous distillery. Meticulously hand-selected, small batch distilling, handcraft. Okay. It is the only major United States brandy maker that still maintains total control over the production process. That's what they're claiming. They're the only one that has total control over the production process. Other brandy companies, they're alleging, are outsourcing some level of the production. Okay, what is brandy? Frequently asked questions. It takes years to craft the perfect brandy. Many years. Okay, they don't give an age statement. What is the difference between brandy and cognac? Cognac is brandy, but it's produced only in the Cognac region of France. Okay, now, DJ says, we have enjoyed Korbel sparkling wines, but never the brandy. Yeah, I would recommend trying it. It's really nice. Okay, the appearance. They're about the same, amber. Do they both have caramel color added? Well, the VSOP from Hervé, the founders company, is telling you we add caramel color and we have natural flavors added. What are the natural flavors? We don't know. It's a secret blend. They don't release it, and they're not going to release it. Could be vanilla, some kind of sugar syrup, you know what I mean? Like something to make it taste better, obviously. They didn't add it to make it taste worse. And the guy on the phone said, I said, what's up with all this natural flavor added? I've started noticing all their products. He said, natural flavor. Okay, tell you the story of that. He said, it's a proprietary blend, so they don't disclose it. He said, I don't even know what the stuff is, but he said, to me, it tastes like they're adding vanilla, but I don't know because it's a secret. He said it's probably more than that. But to me, he said on the phone, company's representative, to me, it tastes like vanilla. Okay. He said they started adding that to their inexpensive products about 5 years ago to take away the bad, harsh bite to them or reduce the incidences of a harsh bite. I said, okay. So if you get any of their tequilas that are inexpensive, or if you want to say low end or bottom shelf, or any of the bourbons or the brandies or the gins or the blended whiskeys, it's going to say with natural flavors added. Okay. You say bourbon, you can't add flavoring. Well, no, you can't have bourbon. You can't have flavored bourbon. You can have bourbon with flavors added, though. You say, well, that's really kind of like the same thing. Yeah, isn't it? I can show you right there at the liquor store, meaning the grocery store in Louisiana, at least 2 different bourbon brands. It says bourbon with natural flavors. Not flavored bourbon. Oh, no, that's illegal. But bourbon with natural flavors, it's a companion. It's just riding together in the same bottle. You know, the molecules are just riding along together. This smells musty. It almost has like a sour mash whiskey smell. You say, oh, isn't Jack Daniel's a sour mash whiskey? You got it, dude. And could those barrels be imparting that nose to this brandy? Yeah, I think it could be. Smells nice, kind of basic, but not a problem. Not a problem. All right. Okay. Butterscotch. That's the Hervé. No website, but if you type in Hervé brandy or Hervé VSOP, it's going to start showing you like 50 different liquor stores. North Carolina ABC, that's the government-controlled socialist liquor stores. Or it'll show independent liquor stores and those liquor outlets. Some are online, some are both. You can go to the actual location or get it online. And it'll list the same description, the same exact description, because obviously they're getting a sell sheet from the distributor. They're not writing it all and just happens to be the same. I'll show you what. This has only been on the market for 2 years. Hervé is a French given name of Breton origin. In English, is sometimes rendered Harvey. Latin source. Hervé, Brandy. Here we go. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits of Florida. I like to go to that place. They got a lot of good liquor deals, man. There's always something they got on special, or as they say in merry old England, on offer. Okay, got it. If it'll load up. I don't know what's going on here. Sweet aromas with raisins and other dried fruits. Sweet aromas with raisins and other dried fruits. Honey and vanilla, initial sweetness with a dry finish. Sweet aromas. I didn't know you could smell sweetness, but sweet aromas with raisins and other dried fruits. Well, you could smell raisins and dried bananas or dried peaches. Honey and vanilla, initial sweetness with a dry finish. Okay, makes sense. Let's go down to the Party Source. That is a liquor store in Kentucky, maybe in some other states. Yes, I'm 21 or older. Man, Hervé Brandy provides a premium VSOP offering, and they've got it for $11.98. I paid $8.99 last year for this. True story, $8.99 at Hocus Pocus Liquor of Gonzales, Louisiana. You say Gonzales? That's like a Spanish name. I thought Louisiana was French. Yes, but Louisiana was settled by many Spaniards during the Spanish days of Spanish rule. So we've got towns like Gonzales. Right up the road is instead of the town. Spanish name. Okay. Oh, it's out of stock. I guess so, because people in this bad economy are buying all the budget stuff. A rich buttery cake aroma leads you. Okay, it's different description. A rich buttery cake aroma leads you to a fruit palate. Into a fruit palate. Vanilla with hints of orange peel will excite your taste buds as it ends with a crisp Asian pear and apricot finish. The luxurious brand is a smooth take on a classic spirit that uses only premium grapes. Okay, to bestow a rich flavor that can be enjoyed neat, like this morning, or in your favorite brandy cocktail. Galvez, that's the name of the town, Galvez. New Iberia should have been a clue about Spanish history, right? New Iberia, as opposed to Iberia, the Spanish peninsula, Spain and Portugal, Iberia, or as the Romans called it, Hispania. All right. Do they smell alike? No. Very dry grapes. Dry. Toffee, butter cake, butterscotch. Now, would butterscotch be a natural flavoring? Yeah, if it's coming from nature, a resin, an oil, a concentrate, a leaf, a bark, any of those things would be a natural flavor. Now, if it's produced in a laboratory to mimic a flavor, then it's what we call an artificial flavor. And I've gotten to arguments with people, and they'll tell me, I have a science background. I say, okay. And then they'll sit there and tell me how a natural flavor is not natural. I say, well, then why is it called that? Wouldn't it be an artificial flavoring? Oh, well, and their whole point is, oh, it's a deception. I said, no, it's not a deception. If you ever bother reading the Federal Drug Administration website, it would tell you very clearly. Now, if it's just a general statement, natural flavors, it could come from any natural source. So it could be, more or less anything. People say, well, beaver musk glands and things like that. Well, it's natural, right? It's an animal. It's from nature. They live in the wild. But if it specifically states natural lemon flavor, it has to come from lemons. If it says natural strawberry flavor, it must be derived from strawberries. You can challenge me on that and you can try to prove me wrong, but you're not going to. Okay. Yep, that's the Korbel. Now, medium body, dry finish. I can't stay on here long. I got to go do some things like house chores, stuff that's not fun. But I don't like a dirty house, so I'm going to clean it. I know other people, their house is like, wow, you ever clean your house? You say, well, they're busy. They're busy. I think they're lazy because they can spend 5 hours playing a video game. They can't spend 1 hour cleaning their house. Okay, don't have time. Okay, sure. Chemically, there would be no difference between synthesized chemicals and extracted chemicals. The rest is just labeling. Many of those things have almost an identical chemical construct. And furthermore, the flavor might be nearly the same. So like the FDA is saying, ultimately, it doesn't really matter because A, the taste might be the same or essentially the same. And secondly, neither one is harmful for human consumption is what they're saying. But the labeling, it goes for how it's derived, from natural sources or chemically developed sources. Some people have read this, like University of California, Los Angeles, whatever university it was. They were saying it was probably a different California university. They were saying might have been in California, Davis. They were saying actually that was the professor's contention. He said actually artificial flavoring is safer generally because it's more of a controlled environment to produce the flavor, whereas natural you got more variables that could theoretically have a higher chance of being dangerous. But of course, in reality, there would be virtually no chance in either one. But they were just saying theoretically, Good morning, Ron. Good morning to you, Beer Hounds, Bill. Okay, so now getting down to this. I know which is which by aroma only, because Hervé is a strange aroma. Doesn't really smell like brandy. Smells like the natural flavorings. But on the other hand, it's not a bad aroma. If you don't like butterscotch, you might say it's a bad aroma. But you can get the tannins underneath. You get the grape skins underneath. The flavor underneath. The flavor underneath. The flavor underneath. Despair. All right. And I guess they're adding the natural flavors to kind of like help it out because it's probably so dry in its untainted state, its unadulterated state, that you might start picking up some kind of harsh qualities. And then you might suspect maybe they're not using the most choice grapes available, Maybe they're not really using the best grapes on the market, which is probably why it was $8.99 a bottle. But anyway, or like Spanky would say, anyhow. Which one tastes better? The Korbel's nice. It's got a spiciness to it. It's got the raisins, those golden raisins, really. It's got the charred oak, where the char is mostly washed away, from years of use. It's got the spiciness, and like I said, in the nose, it even has a sour mash whiskey thing going on over here. Now, back to the ready for battle ready, Hervé. It's sort of like a yes and no process. It's sort of like yes and no. When I did the initial review solo on its own, I was loving it. Excuse me. I was saying, oh man, this stuff's great. It kind of shocked me because I was dreading it. You know, before I tasted it, I was like $8.99 a bottle. I can't wait to see how bad this is going to be. But then it shocked me because I was like, oh, it's pretty good. It's actually really good. But sometimes that line of thinking, I should say, breaks down when you start bringing it into taste challenges. And a better product will draw out negative attributes of the inferior product. And that's what's happening here. The Korbel is drawing out negative characteristics that you wouldn't maybe pick up. I didn't pick them up on the initial solo tasting. Now, I'm not saying that the Korbel is rendering it horrible, nasty, disgusting, and, you know, just unpalatable, but it is exposing it. Negatives of Korbel, there aren't any. And secondly, is it worth the $14.99? Yeah. I don't see why you would take issue with that. Yeah, it's worth it. You know, it's worth it. I feel a lot better if I could find a bottle size. That is bizarre. Maybe it's here. It's really getting me nervous, like fretting, you know, like I'm upset by it. Because usually it's clearly marked right there in front, you know, 750 milliliters, 1 liter, nothing. I don't know. That looks like a liter bottle. That's a pretty big bottle. And it's not just that it's tall, it's big. That's a big bottle. That's a lot. It's got to be a liter, right? Look. I mean, it's a 25% bigger, right? I paid $14.99. I did pay $14.99, but you know what I mean. I would pay it just to drink brandy instead of just say, "Well, I bought it for a video." Now the Hervé. Last call on the Hervé, and then we go on to do other things. Ultimately, it's fine. All right, it's nice. It does have a few little drawbacks, like that super dry undercurrent, which may, if they didn't add the natural flavors, it might be kind of a bitey type thing. But they did add it, and it doesn't really have that. So yeah, it's pleasant. Is it worth $8.99? You best to believe it. Now what about the normal price of $11.99? Because this was special. Or $12.99, $12. Well, $11.99 is $12. You know what I'm saying. You might see it somewhere at $10.99. Yeah, it's worth it. You say, well, I can get E&J, Paul Masson, and Christian Brothers all for the same price. Yeah, that's right. So it's pretty much about on their level because they kind of have that same kind of character. They're good, but if you think about it too much, then they're not really so good. You know what I'm saying? Especially E&J VS. That's kind of, they can't really hide the harshness there. That's kind of like grating, very dry, very harsh, and it's only aged 2 years, so it could be a little rough. But most people buy E&J VS to make hot toddies. They don't drink it neat, so therefore, or they mix it with Coke. So got to take that into account. Yeah, it's fine. They're both fine, but Korbel's better. That's it. End of the story. End of the story. But you'll never confuse one to the other. No way. Impossible. Last look at Comments, late to the party, but glad we're back to Brandy, says Jeep and Foodie. Caleb, yes, we're back to Brandy. I like that Korbel still uses a cork. Well, it's rubber, but it's still cork. It was heartbreaking when E&J changed their bottles and quit using corks. That must have been before my time, because every time I bought it, it was just a twist cap, but I don't have a lot of it. You know, I'm just new to the game of brandy, so you probably have a lot more experience. All right, so thanks for watching, everybody, and tomorrow we'll come back with Hervé versus another American brandy, which I think is Delacour from Missouri. Thanks for watching this video production.